Parts 1 and 2 of this series give you the full strategy, what to send, to whom and why. Today we're closing the loop, 6 automated flows, the conditional split logic that makes the segmentation work, and how to set this up even if you're not using Klaviyo. By the end of this video, the system will make complete sense. Not just conceptually, but operationally. You know exactly what to build and in what order. Let's build it. Now, this is the final section of this post-purchase sequence that are content series. This is the Klaviyo part. If you have Klaviyo built, if you don't use Klaviyo, you can also use this. You can also follow through with the logic behind this and implement it for Omnisend, MailChimp, or whatever ESP that you use. So this is how to wire the entire post-purchase flow entire system together. There are 4 things you must know first before you begin. Basically, you want to open before you open a single flow in Klaviyo, there are 4 numbers and definitions you need to have locked down for you to effectively do this, implement this. Without these numbers, you can't build this, or you just be confused out of your head. It's pretty simple, but you need to know these things. You need to know your average product fulfillment time, as in how many days does it typically take to ship an order after it has been placed and paid for. That determines the timing of every email in flow 1, which I'll shed more light into. And then you need to know your average delivery time too. That is, how many days does it typically take for an order to arrive after it ships. That will determine the timing of every email we'll put in email in flow 2. And then the average order value, meaning the average amount a customer spends per order. You need this to define who your VIP customers are. You need to know your average order value, and then you also need to have a definition for your VIP customers, a concrete measurable rule that determines when a customer earns VIP status with your brand. A strong standard definition I usually go for is a customer who has placed at least 4 orders and whose total lifetime spend or lifetime value is equaled or more than, or is now more than 5 times your average order value. Do you understand? So for example, if your AOV is $60, a VIP customer would have spent at least $300 with you across 4+ orders. At that point, they are people you want to be treating differently. So write those 4 things down before you read anything and figure them out. The big picture. See, most people think post-purchase is one flow. Spoiler alert, it is not. A complete post-purchase system is ideally made of 6 automated flows running independently but working together as one cohesive machine. So flow 1 is the one that gets triggered after the order has been placed. Flow 2 is the one that gets triggered after the order has been fulfilled. The 3rd flow is the review request flow. It should be a standalone flow. The 4th flow is an upsell or cross-sell or bundle type of flow. It should be a standalone flow. The 5th flow is a referral request. That should also be a standalone flow. It does not make sense to build it all in one place. I see a lot of brands building them all together. That is a big issue. The 6th flow is a standalone UGC request flow that goes out only to VIPs. So you want to think of it like a train system. Each flow is a separate train running on its own track, departing at its own time. But every train is headed toward the same destination. That is a loyal, high LTV customer. So I just generated an image here to sort of like help you guys visualize what we're doing. This is the complete system at a glance. So for the first flow, that is your placed order flow. Like I said, gets triggered immediately an order has been made, and it has, okay, this is gonna be hard to just run through, except I open each and every one of us. So this is the first flow. So the ideal way to build this is to have a post-purchase flow that triggers on placed order metric and another post-purchase flow that triggers on the fulfilled order metric, because those are 2 distinct points in the customer's journey. The post-purchase flow triggers when a customer completes their checkout, as in they've paid you money. It is called the placed order metric from Shopify, WooCommerce, or whichever platform you use. It should usually contain email 1, 2, and 3 in all the strategies we've been going through. And the golden rule here is that every email and time delay inside this flow must fit comfortably within the average fulfillment window, right? The time it takes you to um, register the order that has come from the customer and send it out, ship it out, that time should be the time that this flow would be triggered, right? It should comfortably fit into it. If your brand typically ships within 24 hours of purchase, the entire flow must complete within 24 hours. You don't want flow 1 and flow 2 overlapping and confusing the customer. So building flow 1 step by step, you want to set the trigger. I think I'm going to try build one with you guys here. You want to set the trigger in Klaviyo. So pretty straightforward. Just gonna name it post purchase list order. You want to choose the place order from your e-commerce integration. So I'm gonna choose a trigger, place order trigger here. Let me just name this test. Profile center the flow. So choose the place order metric. When you choose, it's choosing it. Sorry about that. Then of course you save it, confirm and save. Then you want to drag an email out, because as soon as someone places an order, they should get your email. That email will be your the confirmation email. This email will be immediately after the trigger. No filters, no conditions, and no split. So every single customer, new, repeat, VIP gets this email. It's usually transactional and it's universal, so it goes to everyone. So let's just name this order confirmation email. Okay. Now you know how the time delay that corresponds with, like I said earlier, the timing between the timing in which you fulfill the customer's order. So you want to add the time after email, add the time delay of 1 to 3 hours, depending on, or more, depending on your situation. You can add 3 hours here. This gives the customer time to breathe after the confirmation before you reach out again personally. Now this email that's going to come after here is going to be the personalized one from the founder, like we talked about earlier. High time delay. Email 2 is going to be the founder acquisition, but it's going to have conditional splits. This is where the flow starts getting quite intelligent. Email 2 is not the same for every customer, and Klaviyo's conditional splits are how you make that happen. I forgot to put an image here, but anyways, we're already building it out. Conditional split is what we use here. So when you've already defined who your customer is, your customer segments are based on their purchases, the repeat customer, the first time customer, and the whole thing, this is where you use it. Now for this conditional split, now this is how you build it. Conditional split is exactly what it sounds like. The flow asks you yes or no question, while the customer routes them down different paths based on the answer. The condition here in the first part is, has the customer placed an order exactly one time over all time? So how do you want to build that? What someone has done or not done, I think. Yeah. Placed order. So we want to, okay, placed order is equals 1 over all time. So as the customer placed an order exactly one time over all time, that's what we're looking for to enter into the yes path. So someone has placed order equals 1 over all time, yes, then they will enter into the yes path. You want to save that. The rest of the customers that have repeated purchases with you enter the no path. On the no path too, that's where we now want to separate the shaft from the um I've forgotten the word, but you want to separate amongst the repeat customers, you want to separate VIP from ordinary repeat customers. Conditional split 2 on the no path is the customer repeat customer that does not meet your VIP definition. That's what you want to set here. So just take another conditional split and put it here. So ideally you should have set a VIP definition, like I said. So let's assume your VIP definition is that the VIP is someone that has placed order 4 times over all time, and their predictive customer lifetime value is higher than 5 times. Let's say your average value order value is like 100, right? $100. So it's higher. Yes, customer lifetime value is higher than 500. How do you do this? You're gonna use conditional split. You're going to ask questions. So ideally, for it to make sense, you want the first buyer, first time buyer to enter the CS path, the repeat buyer, the normal repeat buyer to enter the CS path, and then the VIP buyer to enter it. It just makes it easier for you to troubleshoot the flow. So it depends. It's going to affect how you ask the question here. The question again is the customer a repeat customer that does not meet your VIP definition? So how do we ask that? What someone has done please order is at least 4 So you want to define, basically you would want to define the people who you define here is not necessarily the VIP definition. You're going to find a way to define the people that don't fit the VIP definition. Like the question says here, is the customer a repeat customer that does not meet your VIP definition? So you take your VIP definition and then you flip it. So what are someone done or not done? You want to define your repeat customers. They've placed order and is less than 4 times, right? So they are still placing order. They are not the people that have placed order 1 time over time. They are probably they've probably only just placed order within 2 times or 3 times, right? Overall time. So place order is less than 4 times. And now this is where Clearview gets very, very, very intelligent. Not disclaimer, not all brands will have the ability to use this property because there's a certain amount of list size and data that you must have built into Clearview for its AI to be able to use these numbers. But for this brand, it's obvious that they have the data. So predictive analytics about someone is where you find the calculation for their customer lifetime value. So like I said, for this particular instance, the VIP definition is that the customer would have spent 4 times and their average, their CLTV is basically the brand's AOV, which is $100 times 5. So this definition is going to have to flip that now. So predictive analysis about someone, you want to use the predicted customer lifetime value. You want to use the total customer lifetime value. And you want to define the people that are less than the VIP definition, is less than, and the value that we're talking about here is, like I said, your AOV times 5 times. You can reduce it times 4 times whatever, but ideally this is the definition that works. So let's just go through it again. We want to do a conditional split here that puts first time customers here, conditional split here that puts and repeat customers here, and then here we want to do a conditional split that put repeat customers that are not VIPs and then repeat customers that are VIPs. So what to be able to do that, we'll just come into this conditional split and literally say things like, okay, as the person placed order less than 4 times, then they are a repeat customer, and is their customer lifetime value less than 500, which is less than the VIP, then they are just an ordinary repeat customer. Then they will enter here. But then if they are a VIP, they would have placed order more than 4 times. That would trigger this, and their customer lifetime value will be more than $500. So that will trigger the other side. So it starts to make sense now. You save that, and then this is how you build it out. This is how you leverage the segmentation inside here. So now you have 3 parts. There are 3 uniquely written versions of email 2. This is where you put them. So you put the founder's personal email for first time buyer here. Founder's personal email. I like calling them FT buyers. Alright, just save it. Then you clone it, right? You clone it and you rewrite it, of course, for the repeat customer. Repeat buyers. Yeah. Save that. Don't forget to save it. Then you clone it. You put it here. For VIP buyers. Right, so you see you have 3 opportunities here to talk to them differently. Now email 3, which is the decision validation after email 2, you want to only send that, like I said, to first-time customers. They're the ones that need validation. So you put your time delay here underneath this first time so depending on how long it takes, of course, for you to fulfill, you just decide. And I'm just gonna put 3 hours here again. This is assuming this brand fulfills each product in a timing that's more than 6 hours at least. Then you want to put an email in. This is gonna be your purchase decision validation. So purchase decision. Come on, man. Spell it. Email for first time buyers. So this is where you design that and you put it in. So you can see the structure, very, very sensible now. It's more, should I say, optimized for real life as opposed to just one straight sequence. So that's for the first flow. And that's how you build it. The simplest way to handle this is to place email 3 only in the yes, but yeah, we already did that. Now for the second flow, which is like the post purchase fulfilled order trigger flow, because we already built this for this brand and we don't need it, I'm gonna delete it now just to show you. We've already built it for the brand. I think this is it here. This is the fulfilled order flow. Very interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna delete that. There it is. Just gonna delete it because I don't need it. And then now for this flow, this is gonna be the post purchase fulfilled order trigger. This is how you create it. So basically it triggers when an order has been marked as shipped, you've already fulfilled on it or fulfilled, and it works on the fulfilled order metric from your e-commerce platform. It will contain everything, all the emails from email 4 downwards, and every email and time delay must fit within the average delivery window in a specific way. If order typically arrives in 5 days after shipping, the flow should complete close to or by day 5. Now building flow 2 step by step. Of course, same goes here. Post purchase fulfilled order You're gonna create it manually. The fulfill order is not usually found here. I don't know why, but you can always come here and just type it. Allow re-entry, of course. Save it. Save it. Save it. Now you said the trigger, create a new flow, select metric, all that. Now email 4 is gonna be the shipping confirmation. This drops immediately after the trigger. So it's because it's status email, there's not gonna be a filter to it, right? Immediately fulfill all that triggers for the customer to get a shipping notification. So this is gonna be shipping confirmation email. Everybody gets this. So nobody should be skipped. No smart sending, please, in the confirmation emails. I forgot to mention that. Everybody must receive it. If possible, when you've already finished creating this email, you want to apply for transactional status, everybody must receive it, whether they sign up for email or not. Then step 3, you want to add a time delay and build the segmentation tree. So we're going to add the time delay here. And after the time delay, I think ideally you want to have like say 1 day after the confirmation email. Depends, like, so there's no fixed way of actually gauging the time delay. Depends on the delivery, like I said, but through watching me do it for a brand, you probably get an idea, and through the context of your own brand. So shipping confirmation, you wait a day, and then you add the segmentation tree. This is where it starts to get interesting. In this one, just like previously, same thing, which is basically what someone has done or not done. You want to split them again. Placed order equals 1 over all time. So you want to have the new customer on the yes path, and then you want to come here, have a conditional split here, and what someone has done or not done. I used the placed order metric under a fulfilled order metric because so there are times where fulfilled order triggers multiple times based on the amount of product the customer puts in their cart. So sometimes it happens like that. I don't want to avoid that. That is why we use placed order to still determine the segmentation within fulfilled order, because placed order is just once. It happens when they give you money, right? Just that once time. So we stick with that as the filter for who is first time, who is a first time buyer, who is a repeat buyer, and all that. So the person that has placed order course once come here, the person that has placed order multiple times come here. Now amongst those people, we want to be able to figure out who is our repeat customer and who is the VIP customer. So we want the repeat customer to come on the yes path, and then the VIP customer to go on the no path. So we're going to define who is not a VIP customer. A non-VIP customer is the one that has placed order that is less than 4 times. In this scenario, your scenario is going to be different. Less than 4 times, and done or not done. Someone that has no, we need their predictive analytics now. Someone's total customer lifetime value is less than your average order value times 5. If your average order value is 100, it's gonna be 500. This is based on my opinion. You can tweak it as it fits your brand. So here is where you now have the segmentations. So that's how you read it. Yeah, I already explained why VIP lands on the no path and that. Include a conditional split. Yeah, I already explained that. So step 4, you want to add email 5, 6, and 7 with time delays on the required path. Don't forget that this is the first time buyer's path, this is the second repeat buyer path, and this is the VIP path. So you had as I have recommended in the previous strategies. So that's how you build the fulfilled order flow. in Klaviyo. Now, the standalone flows, which is basically review requests, the upsell of bundles, the referral request, the UGC request flow. These four flows run completely independently of flows 1 and 2. They must be built on by themselves so you can troubleshoot them um, individually. They are not triggered from within the main flows. Each one has its own trigger, its own filters, and its own timing. They just use the same placed order or fulfilled order metric as the entry point with a significant time delay before any email goes out. So for the review request, so the trigger is usually fulfilled order metric or placed order metric, whichever one catches your fancy. I would prefer you use the placed order metric. All customers get the review requests, minus the VIP customers. They don't necessarily need to be disturbed by that. The first email delay is going to be 14 days, depending on your brand, but ideally 14 days after the fulfilled order or after the placed order is when you should ask for review. So it's for consumables of food or beauty, 14 days. Apparel accessories, 40 to 21 days. Within that window is ideal. Electronics or complex products, 21 plus days is when you should ask for reviews. Now, the reason why I'm specifying per industry is because you need to give ample time, not just for the product to deliver, but for them to actually use the product. If your review request lands before they use the product, like Temu's review request does, it's not going to actually convert well. Okay, so you want to find a way to just perfectly figure out that timing that works best for your ideal customer and your use case. The structure is usually email 1, very straightforward. The review ask, email 2, a single follow-up reminder, send 5 to 7 days later. Give them time. Don't bombard them and try to force them into a review. Some will, some won't. Does not define how good of a customer they are. The follow-up reminder alone can boost review completion rates by up to 50%. So don't skip it. Just don't make it annoying. So add a flow filter that suppresses this email if the customer has already left a review. You don't want somebody that's left reviews with you multiple times to be asked again after they've sort of like bought again from you. So asking someone who already reviewed you is an amateur signal. It's gonna be triggering automation. So for the upsell and bundle flow, same thing, similar thing. Trigger is fulfilled or placed order metric. The customers who have not already purchased your upsell product or people that are not yet on your subscription, they're the ones that get this. There's a way you can put the filter there. This content series is not about the upsell flow. I'm just walking you through how it should work. I'll probably make a content series specifically on this. The first email delay is usually 14 to 21 days post fulfilled order after the customer has had meaningful time with the product. Now, there's one thing I want to highlight. There's a strong difference between immediate upsell and upsell, right? Immediate upsell works for brands who have it was specifically for brands who have products that are very, very great with their head with their top products and just works so well, and it's not that much of a cost, for the customer to buy it. But then if you have two distinct products, even though they work well together, because that's the whole point of upsells, right? Complementary products, upsell and cross sells. Even though they work well together, you don't want two distinct products with solid distinct prices. You don't want to send your customer away with very, very asking them to commit that much onto your brand immediately. So that is where an upsell flow comes in, right? So like I said, 2 points. If the product is small enough that they can afford to add the money to buy it, then it becomes an immediate upsell. If it's a substantial amount of commitment to that product, make it just an upsell, and that upsell is basically going to piggyback on the performance of the first product. So instead of it to piggyback on the justification of, oh, its price is not that much, it's gonna make this complementary, it's gonna be complementary to what you just bought. It's gonna piggyback on, oh, you loved so and so, you can get this. I'll make a video more in depth on that, but I think you understand what I mean. So include a trigger filter that only includes people if they have had 0 fulfilled orders since starting. This ensures that if another item ships or if they buy another item while they are in the flow, they don't receive the upsell emails mid purchase again, because that would just be weird. The next is the standalone referral request. This triggers, like I said, place order of fulfilled order metric. Send only to repeat buyers, people that have placed order at least 2 times over our time. The first email delay should have about 21 to 30 days after they have fulfilled their previous order. The referral ask only goes to people who have demonstrated they like you enough to come back. So sending it to first timers is premature. Sending it to disengaged customers is just a waste. The next flow here is your standalone UGC request. Very, very serious flow. Like I said, if you're looking for examples, I've already gone through examples in the first part of this series, so go and watch that video. The trigger here is the place order fulfilled order metric. VIP customers only, 21 to 30 days post fulfilled order. It can take the same time that referral requests went out for repeat customers. So VIP customers are your most credible voices. Their content carries more weight than any first timers. This flow is exclusive by design, and the email copy should make them feel that exclusivity. Now, if you are not using Klaviyo, or your Klaviyo hasn't yet garnered enough data to have the CLV metric, this is how you can build it. So you want to build a dynamic VIP segment using the definition that you've created, meaning placed order at least 4 times over our time, and total amount spent is greater than your AOV times 5. So once that segment is built and is set to update dynamically, which ideally that's what the segment does, when you're building a conditional split too, instead of referencing predictive CLV here, what you reference instead is somebody that has placed order less than 4 times over all time here, which is this, and customer is not in the VIP segment or something. So I think for Klaviyo it is basically is in or is not in a list. So that's what you use to define your VIPs. There's also a much more complex part where you could create a flow that tags people as VIP when they join a certain segment, and then based on that tag you can reference it there in this conditional split. So yeah, there's so many ways that I could go. So that is pretty much it. I hope this entire series has been very valuable to you.